Alright, so let's talk about our first impressions of the Oculus, Facebook, Meta, Quest 2, however it's branded. Let's get into it. Alright, before we get started, I want to just shout out the person that lent me this, JBrat. I'll leave the video down in the description of him unboxing this. Let's start talking about the headset. Alright, like I said in the intro, I'm giving my first impressions in this video. I'll have a full review up later this month, but this is just the initial impressions of me putting on the headset, the original strap, the original controllers, just how they came out of the box, everything just as it came out of the box. And so first off, I think that for the most part, the interface is not great. So I'm going to start with the interface, the software behind it, something that can be changed. I feel like should be, and maybe it's a hardware limitation, I don't know. But when I first got this, not all the games were downloaded, which is fine, but I had a lot of problems playing games while it would download, as well as it never prompted me when I was downloading a game and I was shutting the system off. It never prompted me to actually stop because I was downloading a game. So I feel like there's a lot of issues with how they wrote the software around gaming. And this is the 256 gig version, so you expect to download a lot, and it doesn't really help you know what's being downloaded. I have to really hunt for it to find it. In the notification panel, it actually tells you if it's downloading something, and kind of on the screen when you're downloading it and you're looking through the list of the games. But for the most part, it doesn't really tell you, as well as you could get a lot of hiccups when you're playing. I was playing Beat Saber while Medal of Honor was downloading, and I was getting a lot of issues there. So again, the software feels like more like an early Android beta, and I feel like there's a lot they could improve there. But let's go ahead and talk about the hardware. So the controllers, I feel, are okay. They're a little slick. I don't like that. I wish there was a little bit more grip on them. I feel like when I'm playing Beat Saber, I have to hold down this button to be able to keep a grip because of how, I guess, big my hands are or small the controllers are, and I couldn't find a grip. My wife played some of this and she was able to hold it lower, but I feel like I don't have enough grip that it's just going to fly off. Obviously they have the little safety guys here, but I don't like that because when you throw it off, then you have to find it again, which Oculus does pretty well in software, but I don't like that. I'd rather have control of the controller. But there are some good things around this controller. I find that the battery will last longer because it's not rechargeable, and you just have to put a double A in here, and that's pretty easy. It doesn't come off while you're playing or anything, but it's pretty easy to take off, and you have a double A there. I like that. It seems to be lasting pretty long, longer than it being charged, but it also means that these will last a little bit longer than something with a battery built in where that could eventually stop charging or charge less over time. And for the most part, I enjoyed the interfacing with the controller on the software side. I did find that it tracks pretty awful compared to a base station, like an index base station tracking. I found that that is a little bit more accurate. I had a lot of times where in Beat Saber I would be leaning to one side and have issues with the controller not being registered on my side, even though there are cameras on them. So I find that these, I don't know if it's the bottom ones or if it's the top ones that try to track the side, but I found that that is quite lacking in where if I use my index, I can, as long as I know the square is that way, I can pull my hand out and be fine because it's tracked with the stations. And then after trying out the controllers, I tried the hand tracking through a game called Hand Physics Lab, I believe is what it's called, and I kind of enjoy it. It's not the best. So I find it problematic because you have to like grip the cube in the game, and you have to like hold your hand here, and I found myself kind of trying to pick it up without something there, which kind of cramps your hand. I don't know. It's my first time trying it. I will try it a little bit more before I have my full review, so that I get more of a experience in it. And I just found that it doesn't give me the same feedback as a controller because there's nothing you're picking up. You're not picking up an actual block, and so my brain is thinking I'm actually picking up a block, and so that became a little bit of a difficulty for me, as well as trying to navigate the menus through hand controls or hand tracking is very difficult for me. I don't know why it's so difficult. So the actual tracking of moving your hand up and down and doing all of that is fine. It's mostly the selecting. I don't like that you have to like grab the ball, and that is worse than the game itself where it hand tracks. I find that the menu tracking could have been done maybe differently. So I think that they could improve. Obviously, most of my critiques in this first impressions are software based, and so they can improve quite a bit. The tracking of the controllers is not, I don't believe. They might be able to fine tune it a little bit, but there is a lot of issues of trying to do stuff behind your back without moving your head is a problem because it's inside out tracking. So maybe they come out with a strap that has cameras in it, which will help with the 360 movement, and that might help a little bit, or something to do with the controllers having cameras so that it can like see markers on the headset maybe, or something like that would help a lot to be able to just help 360 movement, like I said, and being able to just use the controllers naturally. Right now I feel like in Beat Saber I have to do this. So I circled back to controllers and I was talking about the hand stuff, but the hand stuff I haven't really used too much. I'll try to use more of it before the final review. I just don't feel comfortable using it. It's very disorienting. As well as the headset is, I find that using the headset itself is very disorienting, and I think it's got to do with the field of view. I think that my pupils are a little bit farther apart than this headset is for the lenses, where the index you can change the pupil distance, and this one you can't that I could find. Let me know down in the comments if I just missed that. I haven't talked to anyone about it. I haven't talked about any of this with anyone else. Just I'm trying to get all my thoughts out on video first before I talk to Jay and play some games with him. I do find that the tapping the side for seeing the outside cameras, and I don't remember the name of it, let me know down in the comments, so you can see the real world through their cameras. I find that is very useful, but as well as the strap itself going up, I get why that's there. I assume this is going to be for the other headset or other straps that are harder, but this itself actually makes it very difficult that this swings up, because putting it down does not feel great. Initially, and so far, this little pad here, which I think comes off, I'm going to talk to Jay before I take it off to make sure that this is not supposed to be able to be removed. I'm not sure, so I'm not trying to mess up anything. But this gets caught, this little rubber piece gets caught on my glasses all the time. Hopefully you guys can see that there's a little rubber piece sitting out here. My glasses get stuck in it all the time, pulling off my headset, and I don't use anything but glasses. So I find that the index that I have works pretty well with it, and so this is very weird. I actually like the audio that comes out of this, and I feel like it's actually pretty on par for the index as well. I feel like the index has a little bit better on showing where it's coming from, where this one shows it's coming from my front of my face, not the sides, but as it's not part of the strap itself, it makes sense. I actually quite like it if you don't have an alternative. Jay did give me a bunch of other stuff to try out with this headset, so I'm going to be doing that, and you'll see it change by different videos because I'll be trying out different accessories. And so I think that the basic headset here with the straps is okay. It holds a lot of the weight on the front. I don't mind it too much, but I think I'll enjoy the other ones more, as well as adjusting this for multiple people. Very difficult when I was changing between my wife and myself. The size difference in the head, it makes it very difficult to adjust this, and it's very hard to adjust this on your head, which makes sense because they were trying not to get it to move too much, but I think that they could have done better with this and maybe lock it in place rather than trying to make it just more difficult to move. And obviously they have other headset straps that you can do, and I will be testing that out, as well as some grips for the controllers themselves, which were for the Rift, but also I think they came out with them for this controller specifically. But overall, I've been enjoying it. It does have a lot of downsides compared to my Index, but I also haven't tried it plugged into my PC yet, which will be a different video. And in the final review, I'll also be using it through my PC. So stay tuned for a final review, as well as some other videos going more in depth on specific concepts that I'm looking at with this, as well as the review will contain thoughts between this and my Index, and I'll go between them and try to give my best impressions of, if you had both, which one would you main most of the time. And obviously this one has the to-go feature of, you can take it anywhere, but I find that, especially during this time, I'm not going anywhere. That is going to go into my review as well. So make sure you like and dislike this video, as well as subscribe to the channel so you get notified when we upload those videos, as well as when we go live, and other videos that we'll be coming out with the Analog Pocket coming out soon. Hopefully I get that before the end of the year, as long as it ships and USPS doesn't hold it for too long with holidays coming up. Make sure you also look down in the description for Jay's video, as well as all of the links that we just normally have down there for affiliate links are all marked with the word affiliate, and those will give kickbacks to the channel, as well as merch. And I don't know if Patreon's still down there. I'm tussling back and forth on using that or not. And of course, let me know down in the comments what you guys think, what games I should play on Steam VR or Oculus, and I can talk to Jay, see if he owns it or not, or maybe give some money to him and he can buy it and we can play it. And I would love to know your guys' opinion on the Oculus Meta headsets, as well as I'm obviously not using it on my account, so I'm not trying to dive in too much to it, but I am enjoying it more than I thought. So again, just let me know down in the comments of games, what information you want to know about the headset, and thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.